Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play the entirety of the video, and then I'll go back and talk about things that are going on to better explain what's going on and talk about things that I think that were done right and or done wrong. Without further ado, here we go.
Hello, my name is Rick Armendariz, the Deputy Chief for the Anaheim Police Department. This video is intended to provide you with information about an officer-involved shooting that occurred on Tuesday, September 28, 2021. This incident involves Anaheim Police Department officers, however, occurred in the 1200 block of West Santa Ana Boulevard in the city of Santa Ana. As you can imagine, an officer-involved shooting is a tragic event for everyone, for our officers, for our community, and for the family members of those involved. These incidents demand the highest level of scrutiny and rightfully are a matter of public concern. You are about to see relevant video footage and learn of other related evidence so that you have a better understanding of what occurred. A word of caution. The images and footage you're about to see may be disturbing. When a police officer uses force to arrest a suspect or defend against an attack, it can be graphic and difficult to watch. In addition, there may be strong language used by those shown in the video. Viewer discretion is advised, especially for younger children and sensitive viewers.
I'm Sergeant Jacob Gallagher with the Anaheim Police Department Professional Standards Section. I'm going to provide you with a brief overview of a pursuit and officer-involved shooting that occurred on Tuesday, September 28, 2021. On that date, at approximately 3 p.m., an Anaheim police officer completed a stolen vehicle report related to a 2021 black Dodge Charger. The victim told the officer the subject, pictured here, Brandon Lopez, had taken the vehicle without permission. The victim explained an attempt was made to retrieve the vehicle, however, Mr. Lopez refused to return the car. As a result, the victim requested a police report be completed in connection with this incident and that Mr. Lopez be arrested and prosecuted for vehicle theft. As a part of the investigation, the handling officer conducted a records check on Mr. Lopez and discovered there were 3 active warrants totaling $285,000 for his arrest. The first warrant for $250,000 was for a series of 6 armed robberies where a handgun was used in the commission of the crimes. The second warrant for $25,000 was for domestic violence. And the third warrant for $10,000 was for driving on a suspended license. As the officer continued his investigation, it was discovered the vehicle was equipped with GPS technology. A location search for the vehicle was completed, and it was learned the Dodge Charger's last known location was in the 2100 block of East 1st Street in the city of Santa Ana. Based on the fact Mr. Lopez was a fugitive, wanted in connection with multiple felony crimes, was a named suspect in a stolen vehicle investigation, and his possible location was known, the handling officer felt it was prudent to share this information with an APD investigations team. The details of this investigation were shared with APD investigators, who then began responding to the city of Santa Ana, along with our air support unit Angel and 2 uniformed canine officers. While en route, additional background information was obtained that Mr. Lopez had a prior conviction for resisting arrest. At approximately 5:01 p.m., Angel was the first to arrive in the city of Santa Ana and located the Dodge Charger in the 2100 block of East 1st Street. As Angel arrived, the vehicle started moving and the tactical flight officer began directing ground units to the vehicle's location. Anaheim police officers in marked police vehicles located the Dodge Charger in the city of Tustin and attempted to conduct a high-risk traffic stop so Mr. Lopez could be taken into custody. Mr. Lopez failed to yield and a vehicle pursuit ensued. The following video footage taken from Angel depicts the initiation of the pursuit.
46-918, we'll be doing a 960X around Red Channel. Valencia, east of Newport. I think this is Tustin.
46-918 on a 960 X-ray, Valencia, east of Newport. Where's the vehicle description and plate? What was the want?
So 503. We got a couple marked units and several flying cars.
10-4, we have marked.
I failed to yield. We're southbound Red Hill from Valencia.
10-4, failure to yield now, southbound Red Hill. Out, southbound Red Hill.
We're going to have to go ahead and call it pursuit. Southbound Red Hill from Vail.
10-4, southbound Red Hill from Vail.
26 Angel Road, 97 in pursuit.
Angels 1097, Duke, copy.
Suspect Brandon Lopez. It's got a 200K plus in warrants for a 211 DV and other charges.
Okay, copy that. You are 1011. Copy. There's a named suspect, Brandon Lopez.
Chief, we copy. All right, team, we're at Warner and Red Hill.
10-4 southbound Red Hill at Warner. What was the plate and the vehicle description?
26K4. The black Dodge Charger is on the plate. And Angel, can you call it if you can?
We can't call it because we're on file for John Wayne. The plate 2021 black Dodge Charger with yellow front bumperettes.
Black Dodge Charger. 4 through Carnegie.
2697. It's a 503 and a wanted 211 suspect with $250,000 in warrants.
503 211 suspect. The unit you're covering through Dyer.
26K4 through Deer. And we're requesting some assistance from 31 if they can help out.
10-4 31 unit to assist. Do we have a weapon involved in the 211?
26K4 through the red at Alton.
Through red at Alton.
He's reaching around down towards the floorboard.
For nearly 35 minutes, Mr. Lopez led police officers from multiple jurisdictions on a high-speed pursuit through the cities of Tustin, Irvine, and Santa Ana, operating the vehicle in a dangerous and extremely unsafe manner, driving with a wanton disregard for the rules of the road and the motoring public. Mr. Lopez drove recklessly by speeding, running red lights, running stop signs, and driving the wrong way. At one point during the pursuit, Mr. Lopez was involved in a traffic collision and fled the location. Because of Mr. Lopez's erratic driving, an Anaheim police supervisor told pursuing Anaheim units to back out of the pursuit and allow Angel to track the vehicle from the air. In response, APD ground units discontinued their involvement in the pursuit. At some point, police officers from the Santa Ana Police Department reinitiated the vehicle pursuit of Mr. Lopez and continued to pursue him until his vehicle became disabled in a construction zone in the 1200 block of West Santa Ana Boulevard in the city of Santa Ana. The following video footage from Angel contains portions of the vehicle pursuit.
And units involved also be advised, in the commission of his 211 Envision, they're stating he used a firearm.
South crossing First Street, northbound Baker, and he's just got a lot of cross traffic. There's northbound Baker through First.
Okay, northbound Baker through First. And again, in his 211, a firearm was used according to vision.
Angel through Baker.
Through Baker.
31-222, I'm out.
31-222 out.
31-83, I'm out.
31-893K out.
Wrong way against traffic on Bristol.
Southbound wrong way on Bristol.
Up to Santa Ana in a construction zone. Westbound in the dirt, north side of Santa Ana Street.
North side of Santa Ana Street, heading westbound through the construction zone.
Something's wrong with his car. He looks like he might be stuck. Westbound Santa Ana at Bristol.
And for westbound Santa Ana at Bristol, possibly having vehicle trouble.
Stuck on the train track, so if we get units, we'll probably get a 60X right here in the construction zone. At Baker.
10 for copy, vehicle is stuck on the train tracks westbound Santa Ana.
At the termination point of the pursuit, officers from both the Anaheim and Santa Ana police departments attempted to conduct a high-risk traffic stop in an effort to take Mr. Lopez into custody. Mr. Lopez failed to cooperate and refused to follow all commands and instructions to exit the Dodge Charger. Because of Mr. Lopez's failure to cooperate and exit the vehicle, this incident transitioned to a tactical response event, and personnel from the Santa Ana Police Department assumed command. As a part of the tactical response, Santa Ana police personnel utilized their armored vehicle, a Pterodyne, to block Mr. Lopez's vehicle and prevent its movement. Additionally, the use of the armored vehicle allowed police personnel to be positioned in such a manner that they could monitor Mr. Lopez's actions inside the vehicle. For over 3 hours, Santa Ana police officers and negotiators attempted to get Mr. Lopez to safely exit the Dodge Charger. During that time, he repeatedly refused all commands to exit the vehicle. A Santa Ana police officer was positioned in the Teradyne to monitor Mr. Lopez's actions. At 6:09 p.m., the Santa Ana police officer reported he observed Mr. Lopez holding a gun in his right hand. Over the course of the next several hours, Mr. Lopez was observed reaching under the vehicle seats, smoking an unknown substance, moving about the vehicle, and writing something on a piece of paper. At one point, he placed the floor mats in the windshield, preventing the officers from seeing inside the car. The following is a portion of the police radio traffic associated with this incident.
Okay, he's reaching underneath the passenger seat. He's using both hands. 31272. Subject's reaching underneath the driver's seat. Give me 10-3, 417, right hand. 417, right hand.
Copy, 417 in the right hand.
272, the subject appears to be smoking something from a foil. 272, suspect is shaking his head that he won't come out. 272, the suspect is starting to smoke through a straw.
220 for all the units here at the scene. Be advised, Anaheim SWAT is en route. So in the meantime, we will continue attempt negotiation to have the subject surrender.
From 272, we're continuing to give commands to surrender, to come out of the vehicle, and he's refusing. Suspect is covering something up in his waistband. He's taking off his shirts.
20, Station 31.
Go ahead, sir.
Just for info, we've been doing announcements for the last hour and 5 minutes.
Suspect is just smoking more narc. Suspect is opening the center console.
Right, you got a pen.
And he got the pen. It looks like he's going to write something. All right, suspect is blocking the front windshield with the floor mat.
The decision was made that the Santa Ana Police Department would transfer tactical command of this incident to the Anaheim Police Department, and at 9:07 p.m. this transfer occurred. At that time, announcements continued to be made asking Mr. Lopez to surrender. However, he continued to refuse to cooperate. At 9:34 p.m., a Santa Ana police officer advised he had spoken with a member of Mr. Lopez's family. The family member communicated that he had spoken with Mr. Lopez and he intended to commit suicide by cop. As this information was received, tactical negotiation officers continued to attempt to get Mr. Lopez to safely exit the vehicle. At the same time, Anaheim SWAT personnel began developing a plan to introduce a chemical agent into the vehicle Mr. Lopez occupied, with the hopes that it would encourage him to surrender. The following is a portion of the police radio traffic associated with this incident.
810-3 to the units. We are going to take over as the arrest team. We have our K9 lethal, less lethal hands and shield team ready to go. So let's get the units east of the suspect car to tactically back out and find some hard cover to get behind, or redeploy to the command post if you don't have another assignment. 810-3, we're going to have the Santa Ana Teradyne make some announcements. See if this guy's willing to give up now. 810-3, announcements are being made, no change.
.220 to the command post.
Go ahead.
Just be advised, I spoke to a family member of the suspect who advised that as of 1900 hours, he spoke with family and stated that he wanted to suicide by cop. K9 announcements given.
And please, the units on scene, the Anaheim team units started their announcements trying to contact this guy.
8-3, the perimeter units, just be aware we are preparing a gas plant.
To all units, gas plant will be initiated. Prior to initiating the gas plant, there will be a flashbang deployment.
Anaheim Police Patrol and SWAT officers are equipped with body-worn cameras. Per Anaheim Police Department policy, all body-worn cameras must be worn in a forward-facing position that facilitates comprehensive recordings of contacts and/or incidents. You are about to view body-worn camera footage from that perspective. It is important to keep in mind that body-worn cameras are an investigative tool, and like any device, they have limitations. Body-worn cameras do not necessarily capture everything an officer sees, just like a body-worn camera may capture something an officer does not see. Further, body-worn cameras do not have an ability to depict what an officer is feeling or experiencing during a given incident. After nearly 4 hours of failed negotiation attempts and non-compliance from Mr. Lopez, the decision was made to initiate the chemical agent plan. At 10:00 p.m., Anaheim SWAT personnel deployed a flashbang and introduced a chemical agent into the vehicle Mr. Lopez occupied. Shortly after, Mr. Lopez emerged from the vehicle with a black object in his right hand. At that time, an officer-involved shooting occurred. The following footage is from one of the involved officers.
He's up! He's up! Down!
After the officer-involved shooting occurred, officers were concerned because Mr. Lopez's arms were under his torso. They believed he was armed with a gun and that he was lying atop a firearm. To ensure there was no intentional noncompliance on Mr. Lopez's part, a 40mm less lethal projectile was deployed to determine Mr. Lopez's responsiveness. Mr. Lopez was non-responsive, at which time officers approached, handcuffed him, and began rendering medical aid.
Initiate. Going out.
Mr. Lopez was pronounced deceased at the scene. A search was conducted for any weapons, including a gun. A gun was not located. A black pouch filled with an empty plastic water bottle, pictured here, was found under Mr. Lopez. The stolen vehicle Mr. Lopez was driving was also searched and processed. No firearm was located inside. A note was found near the front passenger seat of the vehicle. Additionally, a knife, a cell phone, and drug paraphernalia, including several pieces of burnt foil, were also located inside the vehicle.
When a critical incident, such as an officer-involved shooting, occurs, several investigations are immediately initiated. Typically, the Orange County District Attorney's Office conducts an investigation to determine whether the involved officer's actions were within the law. However, in this case, because Mr. Lopez was not armed with a deadly weapon, and pursuant to State Assembly Bill 1506, the California Department of Justice will be the lead investigating agency to make this determination. Because this incident occurred in the city of Santa Ana, the Santa Ana Police Department's homicide detail will investigate the criminal conduct of any potential suspects prior to or during the incident. Finally, our Internal Affairs and Major Incident Review Team will examine any areas where improvements can be made and determines whether the actions of the involved officers were within policy and consistent with our training. As with all critical incident investigations, we withhold judgment and do not draw any conclusions about whether or not our officers acted within our policies and in accordance with the law until after all the facts are known and the investigations are complete. If you would like more information on the Anaheim Police Department's use of force policy, please visit us at www.anaheim.net/police. Thank you for taking the time to view this critical incident community briefing.
All right, let's get into it.
As a part of the investigation, the handling officer conducted a record, located the Dodge Charger in the city of Tel.
We have March.
Failure to yield. We're southbound Red Hill from Vallejo.
211 in vision. They're stating he used a firearm.
South crossing First Street.
So at some point, they initially stopped the pursuit, and a different agency picks it up. I'm not familiar with this area. It sounds like it's a very large metropolitan area that has like multiple little towns within inside of it, and the big agency or one agency started it, and people joined in, and then it went into another township, and they decided to take it over. They stopped the pursuit because of him driving erratic and him being a danger to the public. I'm not the biggest fan of no pursuit policies or ending pursuits. I think it just emboldens the criminals and puts it in their mind that if they run for long enough, then the agency will shut the pursuit down and then they can get away. The pursuit starts back up, and old dummy bottoms his car out.
Westbound through the construction zone.
Something's wrong with his car. He looks like he might be.
The only thing that ended this pursuit was this dumbass's incompetency of driving. He drove up onto the rail thing for whatever dumb reason and then got himself stuck. That's the only thing that stopped him. Who knows how long this thing would have gone on if he had not gotten himself stuck. It's even feasible that the pursuit would have continued on, and then the agency that re-picked this pursuit back up would have ended it, and then this guy would have gotten away. But he gets stuck.
Copy, vehicle is stuck on the train tracks westbound Santa Ana.
At the termination point, Iris to be part of the tactical response. Santa Ana police personnel utilized their armored vehicle, a Pterodyne, to block Mr. Lopez's vehicle and prevent its movement. Additionally, the use of the armored vehicle allowed police personnel to be.
So they used the big armored car to block the forward portion of this vehicle in. I don't personally think this car is going anywhere, but it did give them a good advantage point to be able to park right there in front of him and see into the windshield and see exactly what he was doing. So it made a pretty good close-in observation post, to say the least. Um,
Position in
Later,
such a
when
manner
they
that
show the
can
night
monitor Mr. Lopez's
footage,
actions inside the
there is a
vehicle.
vehicle
For over 3
parked right
hours, Santa
behind
Ana
him,
police officers
and don't know at what point this was done, but they eventually parked a vehicle right behind his to further keep him from moving around. Now, it's possible that he eventually tried to rock the car backwards and get loose. I'm not really sure. They don't provide a whole lot of footage in this, but the second vehicle is added there. For the longest time, while the Teradyne is parked right there, this
utilized an
guy
armored vehicle, a
just rummaged
Teradyne, to
around
block
inside the vehicle, smoking his dope, and making his final moments in life, in my opinion. He's probably smoking the last of his dope, having a good time, probably, saying goodbye to people on the phone or doing whatever on his phone.
Mr. Lopez's vehicle and
For barricaded incidents like this, where
its movement.
the
Additionally, the use
person
of the
is
armored vehicle
in a
allowed police
vehicle and they're not coming out, there's not a whole lot that can be done. If you approach on foot and you get up to the vehicle, a gunfight can happen right then and there. You're not in that greatest of advantage. I have seen other videos where the side windows are punched out using 40 millimeter launchers. I think that definitely could have been an option in this scenario. They could have breached the side windows with 40 millimeters and then start spraying in pepper spray or something like that. They do initiate a gas plan later, and I'm not really sure what it is that they're using. Pay attention to this part right here. So he uses something to bust the back glass. And it's either he was using this to start clear some of the glass, or this was the delivery system. I'm not really sure what it was. So it could have been they were just clearing the glass to be able to throw in some type of canister. Not 100% sure what was going on there. If you watch through the glass, it's almost like this thing is the delivery system, and you see like a plume of smoke or of gas or vapor of some sort just start to fill the vehicle. That right there. Or it could just be that he's starting to open the door, and that's light reflection off weapon lights. I think it's gas of some sort.
Lopez was non-responsive, at which time officers approached, handcuffed him, and began rendering medical aid. position to block Mr. Lopez's vehicle and prevent its movement. Additionally, the use of the armored vehicle allowed police personnel to be positioned.
So I think that shooting side windows out with a 40 millimeter baton probably would have been a pretty good option to do. That pole thing they had. So, I think, things like that would be a pretty effective tool, especially for something to be some type of product to be made to mount to the front of one of these vehicles, and it be similar to something like what airport firefighters have. They just have a rod that can pierce the hull on an aircraft and then start pumping stuff in. I think if there was something like that for these armored vehicles, that would be a pretty neat product to be able to end these kind of barricade situations. And if not end it, at least get them to come out of the vehicle where you have the ability to deploy more options on someone. So if this vehicle, the Pterodine, had a delivery system thing mounted to the front of the vehicle, they could have lowered it and then had it go forward and pierce the windshield and start pumping pepper spray inside, or if it weren't for this kind of setup or where they were at right here, come in from the side and pierce the side window or door or something like that and start flooding the inside of the car with OC, that's going to make them come out. I think even a drone delivery kind of system would be pretty neat, or at least a robot that could come forward and get right up next to the vehicle, and then it can pierce a window and then start pumping OC inside. A drone could very easily land on the roof of the car and have a built-in drill system, and it could drill down through the ceiling and then just start injecting OC inside the vehicle. I think that would be a pretty neat product for someone to invent out there. And then once that person wants to get out of the vehicle, well, then you open up a bunch of different options to deploy tasers on them, deploy bean bags and 40 millimeters on them. Gives you, or even deploy the dog on them more effectively. And it gets them out in the open where you have a better, clear line of sight on them. Whatever they do, it ends up causing him to want to exit the vehicle.
At that time, an officer.
I would say that the whatever they did after breaking the window, whatever gas was being interjected in there, that it was not comfortable to him. Probably a tear gas of some sort. The flashbangs are just to distract him. That's all that is. So when they bust out that window, he's probably going to be looking towards this way. And then when they set the flashbangs off, he'll be looking that way and distracting and disorientating him, so that if he does have a gun, he can't easily acquire sights on these people because he's going to be so distracted with what's going on to the front and all the loud bangs and noises. Just don't know what's going on. But whatever gas they start to throw in there, I guess he knows it's up, or it starts hurting him or giving him trouble breathing.
He's up. He's up. Go.
So we got rifle here. Can't see what this other guy over here has. He's got a 40 millimeter launcher. And we got two pistols right here. So even though he did not have a gun, he still ran at them with that black colored object in his hand. It was we'll go forward and we'll take another look at it. It was a sunglass case with a water bottle inside of it. I don't know anybody that uses a sunglass case to carry around a water bottle. In my opinion, this guy put this water bottle in this glass case to make it look like a gun, either for the intention of them, having to use force against him and kill him, or he thought maybe it would cause people to back off and he could further escape. Either way, I think he intentionally put that water bottle in there to give it some bulk. That way, from a distance, it would look like a gun. And when it's low light out, there's not a whole lot of light to allow for your eye to see what's going on. He's moving extremely fast and then running towards you. It's one of those scenarios where you can't give that person all the time in the world to get to you in hopes that what he has is not a gun but something else. Because if he did have a gun and he got close enough, he could have put accurate rounds onto them and seriously injured and or killed one of them. So they had no choice but to use deadly physical force on him based off the appearance of what was going on, plus everything else that had gone on before this, and the fact that the appearance of what's going on now, he's running towards them with this object in his hand that looks like it could be a gun. But you can't make a very good call on whether or not it's a gun because it's low light outside, he's moving very fast and erratically, and then running towards them. They mentioned that before they approached him to cuff him, they hit him with a 40 millimeter. I think that's a pretty good tactic because someone could be playing possum, and as soon as you get up there and roll them over or get up close to them, boom, they whip out the gun and take someone with them. So I see no problem with that. I see no problem with deploying a taser or something like that. But with a taser, you got to be pretty close. 40 millimeter, you can have some better distance involved there. So I see no problem with that tactic whatsoever. Not much else to say about the use of force on this guy. This guy brought this upon himself. I guess you could say he got what he deserved. So I don't see anything wrong with them using the amount of force that they used or the fact that they even used deadly physical force whatsoever. They were using force to protect themselves, and it was the circumstances as they appeared to be. Notice the red dots on the pistols. As I've said in other videos, that is an emerging trend within the law enforcement community, starting to see more and more red dots on pistols. I have a prediction that within the next decade, a good majority of law enforcement in this nation are going to be utilizing red dots on pistols. There are some agencies that they're starting to issue them department wide. It's not like a few individual officers here and there have them. Some agencies are just rolling them out en masse. So I'd say in the next decade, we're going to see this as the majority for law enforcement. I've been saying it. I'll be doing a video on red dot pistols, just haven't got to it. Not much else to say about this video. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense, thank you for watching.